asshole himself, Kanye West, showed his true colors today with his latest stunt dealing with White Lives Matter. I'm not wasting my time talking about that, but it was his attack on Black Lives Matter that I do want to focus on. He posted a message on social media where he was critical. Let me say it again. He was critical of this Black Lives Matter, and he blasted them, y'all, in his post. This is what he actually posted. And again, he's who he is. He posted, "Everyone knows that Black Lives Matter was a scam. Now it's over. You're welcome." That's what he posted. Well, Kanye being Kanye, if you still listen to his music and follow him, well, shame on you. Joining us right now is Dr. Melina Abdullah, the director of the Black Lives Matter grassroots movement. Melina, glad to have you here. You know, it's interesting. I did a radio interview, Melina, and a reporter asked me about this issue. I told the reporter I don't give a damn about Kanye West. He has no value to me whatsoever. And she says, well, you know, but he has power. I said, no, he doesn't. I said he might influence folks to buy his clothes. I said, but frankly, the average person, the average black person, either can't afford his damn clothes and don't want those ugly-ass clothes. But the thing that we're seeing here, again, this constant attack on Black Lives Matter. I've had reporters tell me, Patrice McCullers was misappropriating funds. I said, I haven't seen evidence of that. I've seen the allegations. I have not seen where audit was done. They continue to attack Black Lives Matter, saying, oh, they were stealing and oh, they were doing these different things. Now you have Kanye talking about that it's a scam. Just your initial thoughts on this latest attack on Black Lives Matter and the work that you do.
Sure. I mean, I don't know what that stunt was yesterday. I know that Kanye West has not been involved in Black Liberation Movement or Black Lives Matter, even though he's been invited to the table and to help. And he hasn't been. And so we're going to continue to do the work. It's not over. Despite what Kanye West is saying, it's not over. We're just coming back from Tampa, Florida, where we had a huge victory, won the largest cash award of anybody who was killed by police in the name of Andrew Joseph III. We're working to end qualified immunity. We're continuing to do work in the streets in terms of policy and in terms of education. And so one of the things that we offered is maybe Kanye is just woefully ignorant. And so I did invite him to my class and said, you're welcome to learn about race, racism, and why we say Black Lives Matter and what it means. And so that invitation still stands. And that is what it is. We're not going to let Kanye West slow us down with this really affront to not only what we do in the streets, but an affront to the people who have lost loved ones, whose loved ones have been stolen by police violence.
You know, the reporter asked me, would I sit down and meet with Kanye? And if I did, what would I say? I said, first of all, I wouldn't. I said, I'm not wasting my time. I said, he needs to spend more time with his therapist and his doctor than having a conversation with me. I said, I see absolutely no value of listening to someone like him. And I think what happens is, I think people play into his narcissism by continuously talking about him. That's why my focus is the consistent attacks on Black Lives Matter. Because, and here's the piece, if people keep saying that BLM is so irrelevant, then why do they keep focusing on you?
That's right. I mean, they wouldn't be attacking us or wearing those terrible shirts if Black Lives Matter wasn't moving the needle, wasn't doing important work. The only reason that they're doing that is because we are doing important work. We are doing the work that needs to be done, that is our sacred duty to move us towards greater freedom and liberation for our folks. And so we're still here. We're still in the streets. We're still doing work. And I think that you're right. A testament to that is the attacks on us. They wouldn't be trying so hard to kill us off if we weren't doing effective work.
You talked about the case out of Florida. What is next? What are y'all working on? And how are you redefining the mission, if you will, or what I call Black Lives Matter Grassroots 2.0?
Sure. So the work out of Florida was, tremendous. It was led by the only family-led chapter of Black Lives Matter out of Tampa, Florida. So Andrew and Deanna Hardy-Joseph lead Black Lives Matter Grassroots Florida. We had dozens and dozens of organizers there for a couple of weeks for the entire trial. We were able to really demonstrate the ways in which law enforcement dehumanize and adultify our children, and again got a jury with no Black people on it to see Andrew Joseph III, a 14-year-old boy who was simply attending student day at the Florida State Fair, when he was criminalized, abducted, and left on the side of the road along with 98 other exclusively Black children. They were left there to fend for themselves in the dark, in the rain, and Andrew Joseph, in the midst of that, was hit and killed by a white motorist who was never investigated. That jury found that Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office was absolutely responsible for Andrew's death and awarded his parents $15 million, the largest award for any police-involved death in Florida state history. Well, his parents say what we say, that is a step forward in Andrew Joseph's name, but we want to keep moving, and we want to end qualified immunity, the unjust legal doctrine that shields police from accountability. And so we're working to get Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley's bill passed, the End Qualified Immunity Act. We're working to end the power of police associations that continue to pilfer the public purse. We just saw the day after the Andrew Joseph verdict, we saw as Democrats and Republicans alike put more money in policing instead of more resources into accountability and the things that actually make communities safe. So we're working to end police associations, and we're moving into a period that we call Black Xmas, where we want to understand the relationship between white supremacy and rampant predatory capitalism, as Julianne Malveaux calls it, and be deliberate with our dollars. And instead of just spending away with corporations that don't care about us and are often responsible for our deaths, we're encouraging everybody to build Black, buy Black, and bank Black, and they can visit blackxmas.org for more on that.
Panel, any questions for Melina? Let me first start with Teresa Lundy.
Hi, thank you so much for your fight. As it obviously still continues, what is something that, us out in social media can do to kind of help with the cause? I feel like, if there are more voices on social media that is actively, working with you and an organization to make sure the truth is out there, is that something that, you guys are able to help assist us with?
Yes, we absolutely need everybody's help. So as has been shared here and other places, we do have an issue in trying to wrestle back our social media platforms, the platforms that were built off of the backs of organizers. And so we have a new platform that we need help amplifying, BLM Grassroots. BLM Grassroots is Black Lives Matter, where the chapters were the people who've always been on the ground since the birth and ushered in the birth of Black Lives Matter in 2013. And so we need your help amplifying by going to BLM Grassroots and following their BLM Grassroots, which is all the work that we do on the ground globally.
Joe?
At the risk of asking a very simple question, let's do a 101 on why we say Black Lives Matter. So many people get that wrong. They start in the middle of the story. They say, well, white lives matter too. Well, the problem is that as it pertains to the execution of the laws and the things that have happened, we're coming from a tradition nationally where Black lives have not been mattering. And so we say Black lives matter, not at the risk of or in lieu of other lives. But what would you say to the 101 person who perhaps is well-intentioned but needs that explanation of why we say Black lives matter?
So I think you just said it, right? That white folks in this country and in this world have never been targeted for demise. Black people have. This world has been set up as a racial hierarchy with white people on top and Black people on the bottom. And if you look at virtually every economic, social, and political measure, Black people have been placed on the bottom. We are, the most incarcerated, not because we commit more crimes, because the criminal system of injustice was set up to produce those outcomes. We have the lowest rates of home ownership because of things like unjust practices by banks and by mortgage lenders. We have the highest rates of mother and infant mortality because of injustices in the healthcare system, because of institutions which were created to profit from us, to exploit us, and to enrich others. And so we have to say Black lives matter because Black lives are the ones that are under attack. And when we stave off these attacks, when Black people matter, when Black people are no longer bound by these chains of oppression, we get free, but so does everyone else.
Michael.
But before I get to the BLM issue, Roland, I want to thank you for having Mr. Crump on, my fraternity brother, a proud Omega man. Very smart of you to have somebody like that on. Now to, and I know you don't.
You better go. You better go and ask your question before you get embarrassed. But go on ahead.
Did you ever wonder? And this certainly happened, sometimes successfully, sometimes not successfully, with some of the marches in the '60s, that they had some folks that were designed to be there to keep people from destroying businesses. Because I'm sure you get frustrated by the stories that come out sometimes after your protest rallies, where they really focus on knuckleheads that are, obviously looting businesses. Have you ever tried to do that, to have people that are really just designed to keep people from destroying businesses?
So the priority for Black Lives Matter is to end state-sanctioned violence against Black people. And I know that there are media tactics used to divert the gaze away from what the real issue is. So they want to focus on whether or not a Starbucks window was broken. Let's say that we are focused on Black life. We're not focused on the interests of white property owners. That is a tactic, a diversionary tactic. And so we want to lift up what it is our focus is, right? Over 1,000 people are killed at the hands of police violence each year. And that's not including those who are killed on the inside of our jails and prisons. And so that's where we're keeping our focus. We're trying to make sure that people stay in the streets. And as you know, there are very, very few instances where Black people are actually engaging in some of the things that we're accused of. Most of us are doing righteous work that lifts up the names that we have to constantly lift up, that says names like Jalen Walker and Riddell Jones and Ryan Twyman. Most of us are doing righteous work, and we want to keep people focused on that righteous work.
Very good. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
All right, Melina Abdullah, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, brother.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
When we invest in ourselves, we're investing in what's next for all of us. Growing, creating, making moves that move us all forward. Together, we are Black beyond measure.
Folks, Black Start Network is here.
Hold no punches.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
They Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?